Well, I took a break last week, and while I was standing in line at Harry Potter Worlds, I saw all the posts that PanFam, one of the oldest alliances in EVE, is like dead, imploded. I could tell you what happened, but why would I tell you when we can get the news from someone with boots on the ground? That's right. It's time to check out Galaxier. Galaxier. Enjoy that. Also, a brand new EVE partner. Congrats. Let's get some 07s for Galaxier coming in. Give him a like and give him a sub, okay? He's got some new stuff coming. We always want to hype up newer EVE creators showing up. Let's see what Galaxier, I'll figure out how to pronounce it later, has for us with this PanFam coalition. Let's see. What's up?
Hello and welcome back in, guys. Hope you are all doing okay. Hope you've had a great week. It has been a crazy last few days, as you can imagine. Now
before we get started, Rick's right. This is a goon, someone who is not like putting them down. This is like a member of Goon Swarm Federation. Technically, this person is going to have some propaganda against Galaxier, thank you, against PanFam. So when you're looking at this, try not to assume and agree with everything he says morally, because he's literally talking about his enemy in the game, his rivals, Corp, in the game. Let's dive in.
EVE Online, nullsec with, if you haven't heard, I did a video about basically Gobbins, who's the leader of Pandemic Horde, decided he was going to pull his alliance out the coalition all very last minute. And this weekend we have witnessed the backlash of such decision. There's a lot to dive into, and so we are going to be looking at the information that we have. Some of the stuff have been said.
So I saw that the CEO of PanFam just like left. And I got to ask, did that actually happen? Did he just like, hey, I'm done? Is that really what happened? I will turn up the volume too. Because that doesn't sound to me like possible. That is what happened. He just like, hey, I'm out. I'm going to tell you my prediction. I don't think that happened. I don't think he just was like, hey, I'm out. I think, yes, he literally just like said, hey, I'm out. I don't think that's the whole story. What I'm trying to say. I read that and thought like, who bought him? Who paid for him? Was that everybody else's first thought too? Because why else ruin decade and a half of work? You know, like he handed it to his successor and dipped. Yeah, but like they moved their assets and dipped. See, that sounds like my prediction, having no knowledge of any of these people firsthand, is somebody paid for this to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Some of the first line member accounts that have been sent. There's going to be quite a lot to deal with. We are first going to look at Zkill on the whole, what's actually sort of been destroyed so far this weekend. There's a lot on here on Zkill, but we are also going to look at some other things this weekend. But this is my first weekly news video as an EVE partner, so I have just got EVE partner. I did mention it in a previous video, but for those of you that didn't watch that one, I'm now an EVE partner, so I'm going to be doing a giveaway of a skin.
That was loud.
It is the Metamorphosis skin, so I'm going to be giving one of those away. I'm going to be giving two of those away. So if you comment, I don't know. You know what? If you just comment on the video, I'll pick two comments at random.
We always watch the ad. Congrats on getting EVE partner. Good stuff.
And I'll get your in-game name, and I'll give you a skin for your ship in-game. Right.
I saw this 200 billion shuttle. Somebody post that to EVE Online in my Discord. We will look at that. Somebody post it to the EVE Online chat on my Discord. We will look at it on this video.
So let's dive into Zkill and have a look and see what we've been looking at over this entire weekend, which is a pretty crazy weekend.
Yeah.
So this is a system called Artac A. Now, the long and short of the story, the whole drama story that's gone on, got on Friday or Thursday. I can't remember which day it was now. I think it was the 6th. So that would be.
I thought it was like the end of the week. Yeah, it was like that because I remember it was. I was at the Ministry of Magic, which was toward the end of the week. This is a shuttle that was leaving. Would have lived if it was a shield super is right. What is with these ads? Let me sign in really quick. Ender, you can probably keep us in because I'm just going to say like, this was nuts. Okay. This was absolutely bananas seeing this. Let me like scroll down. This is This 254 billion-esque is not true. It's more. This shuttle is worth more. Oh my God, it's so much. It actually hurts. This is a lot of blueprints, BPOs. There's BPOs in this. Thanks for being a YouTube member. Cecilia, it's good to have you, my friend. Nagelfar blueprint. Some of these are not like these are, chat, stop me if I'm wrong. These are not copies. These are BPOs. This is like a decade worth of work. And the shuttle got smart bombed in low sec. Ugh. But this Praxis pilot needs to go get a lottery ticket. This makes me so upset. All of these gone. The Praxis pilot's cracking up at like dominant. This is like anything above a battleship, Chimera, Mammoth. Anything above a battleship is like months of research. 10 something, like Dread, Orca BPOs. You know these are 10 and 20 as well. Gone. And look at this. Gone. All of this was someone escaping from the PanFam area is the news on this. This is not a 254 billion-isk ship. It's more. It's more. If their research is worth 2 to 3 times more, this is probably something closer. I'm going to say this is a trillion-isk shuttle. And this is not, I don't think this is he quit. This is somebody close to the Stargate. We do this in our Fixture Fits videos. Look at this. He's on the Stargate, 1 kilometer off. This is someone who warped to the Stargate. So like this is the Stargate, right? So like this is the Stargate. He warped to the Stargate and there's just a Praxis sitting there. And the Praxis smart bombed and got the loot. That's it. I don't think this was an autopilot because they were close to the Stargate. An autopilot warps you 10 kilometers from the Stargate. There's some science to this, okay? So he was AFK for months and came in while we were undocking. There it is. Imagine escaping Hell Camp and then dying at a low-sec gate. You can get smart bombed in warp. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But this was not in warp. This was on the Stargate. This was 1 kilometer off. So nobody would autopilot this. Correct. Correct. He quit the game after? Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I would too. You get 10 years or a trillion-isk. This is a 1 trillion plus shuttle. I know that because since you know all of these are researched and you just lose them all. My God. Okay, so this is happening. This was the biggest one we saw, but this is happening all over the place with the collapse of PanFam to show you the severity of this is happening. That's one guy. Let's talk about the whole lines. Let's check it out.
So for Thursday, yeah. Thursday, Gobbins announced that his alliance was leaving PanFam, which is a coalition in Dronelands.
For the newer players, we're going to be pausing a lot because a lot of players don't know what the hell's going on. We're going to try to give context, and please, in the comments, if I'm wrong, if Galaxier's wrong, type it in too. I want to see the discussion. Let's see it. Let's make sure history is as correct as possible. We'll see. There's always propaganda. Gobbins was the old CEO, leader of PanFam, one of the oldest alliances in EVE. And we said this earlier. I saw this comment on the EVE Discord. This is the equivalent of like the Soviet Union collapsing in EVE. Not saying any moral things about it. Not casting any moral disparities on it. I'm saying it's a very, very large, old country that is now gone. Crazy.
Very last minute, for kind of the way he did it, threw his allies under the bus and then left all the line members to fend for themselves in assist.
Do we agree with this? Do we agree that how he did it threw them under the bus? Type 1 if you agree that he threw his alliance, that Gobbins. Type 1 if you think Gobbins threw his alliance under the bus. Type 1 if you think Gobbins threw his alliance under the bus. Let's see it.
Where their capital staging was, where all their, well, not all, but a lot of their assets were, as they previously moved there. And the Imperium decided, as soon as they've seen that announcement, within 90 minutes, they're going to go and hellcamp the Keepstar, which we will come back to that in a minute. So during the last few days, there has been a lot of stuff has been dying. And let's have a look at some of these. So you can see straight across the top initially, there's been 5 Titans have been destroyed. That is through the Imperium bumping them off tether. And because they've been because we've bubbled the entire Keepstar area you can tether. You couldn't just jump out from anywhere on tether. So
does anybody have images of the actual Keepstar that was bubbled? Anybody have those? That would be awesome. So what he's talking about, chat, for the newer players is you have your Keepstar. That's this. Okay, that's this right here. I'm going to make it look like this. And the Titans would undock. And they would have other ships go in at speed and bump them off. And this would cause the Titan to go away from the tether range, and then they could kill them. Okay, so we have it in our Discord. Yeah, anybody wants to post it, post it in. Yeah, Nova. Nova was on grid. Look at this. Nova. My man. Ooh, it's so many balls. It's so... Look at this. It's a damn cotton candy. Look at that. It's so many. There's a Keepstar in there, dude. This is probably one of the saddest and funniest things I've ever seen. They bubble wrap the daggum Keepstar, dude. But that's how you mail something. That's wild. What, 400 hicks, says Orion from Fleet 07. Wow. Gotta tell you, that this is what happened. I was on break. I gotta never go on break again, bro.
As people got closer to the edge of tether to try and find a spot to jump out, we started bumping them off, and that's what happened. So there was also, as far as I'm aware, there was, I remember, I mean, did I get on it on my main? Hang on, let's have a look. Was it on my main that I did? Yeah, so there was also...
Give him time, chat. There's a lot going on.
Revelation Navy issue. There was also Aeon and a Nyx. Now, these were full of people's assets. So they had, like, Black Ops.
This is the point. You might say, so what? He killed a super. That happens, like, every day. They killed capitals and supers of people trying to leave full of their stuff. This was not just it's not like the super was crabbing and they took him out. The reason this is 100 billion-esque, 94-bit, whatever, is because they were trying to leave to get out. So look at this. This is from my Discord. Look at what people who did this with the bubbles. I know it's slightly lewd, chat, but whatever. Look at... Let's zoom this in so YouTube doesn't demonetize me. I've never seen so many bubbles. Man, that's hilarious. Can I tell you that the level of comedy that is the ending of PanFam is surprising to me. That instead of this being a massive battle, a huge, like clash for weeks, power struggle of Titans and Titans, we have people drawing with the bubbles. I don't think this is how this should have went out. We laugh, and in very many ways, so we don't cry. Like, this is a big scandal that this 16-something year coalition, tens of thousands of players, and that's how it goes out? Wow.
These were full of people's assets.
Wow.
So they had like Black Ops ships. That one had 4 or 5 Black Ops ships in.
It's funny, but it makes you feel bad.
And carriers and dreadnoughts and everything that was destroyed were loaded to the brim of pretty much these people's entire, well, not entire, but most of their ships that they wanted to evac out of Dronelands to their new home, which is now in Cloud Ring. And essentially, we killed the Keepstar last night, and there was 3,750.
I think you're right, Star. Star says this is going to be a defining image in EVE's history. I agree that instead of their alliance going out with a massive battle like we've seen in the past, this is going to be what they're remembered as. A joke. That sucks. And who's to blame always? The leadership. Why'd this guy do this? I mean, this is funny. You're drawing so many hicks on grid, so many dictors. They drew words. That's, what is this? Let's say this is each its own ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's say these are all 14 times 3. What is that 42? Yeah, is that quick maths? I'm not going to pull up my calculator. If I did that wrong, it's because I didn't finish college. There are mobile units. Oh, God. How much money is that? How much money is that, dude? Sheesh. And it isn't happy that they're blue to them either. I don't see this lasting long. We'll see. This is the definition of a power vacuum. Why I wanted to cover this. This is happening right before the Catalyst expansion. This is a very, 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 very big deal that instead of going into a new expansion that has a brand new resource, prismaticite, that is primarily in nullsec from what it looks like, or at least going to be primarily mined in nullsec. We're going to talk about prismaticite in another video, and why Rorquals are going to be the de facto new meta, I believe, of mining. You're going to see it. That's another video. Sub for that, okay? This happening the week before a new expansion that is unironically going to be a resource arms race. This is a pretty big deal. This is actually the biggest deal it could be, that we have a power vacuum right before a resource, a gold rush. The next couple months in Eve are going to be very, very exciting, ladies and gentlemen.
53 people on there. So we brought our supers and our titans in to destroy them. And everything that was left in that station when it went bang went to asset safety, which is in it's in Oban something. Hang on, let me see if I can come off here. So this is what the Keepstar grid looks like now. And
Pandemic Horde lost 20,000 members in a week. It's such a big number, I can't fathom it. 20,000.
This is what the Keepstar grid looks like. That's all the bubbles that we've anchored. So when people log back in their capitals, they are stuck. They can't do anything. Keepstar there that we bought, I believe. Yeah, we bought. And there's also this Astra House here now. But let's have a quick look. So the asset safety system that all their supers and all their titans and everything are going to is here. I bought something on contracts just so I know exactly where it's going. Now that
Smart.
is where everything in that Keepstar is going. Supers.
Odebine. I might turn this up because quality. There we go. Yeah. Odebine. Very smart how Galaxier did that. He bought something on contract that he knew would go into asset safety, so he knows exactly where everybody else's asset safety goes. That's really smart. I got to tell you, I didn't think of that. That's really smart.
Titans, dreads, carriers, freighters, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, or probably trillions worth of assets are on the way to that system now.
It's got to be trillions.
And they will be there in 18 days now. They will be.
So get ready for the next. Oh my God, chat. This video came out 2 days ago. So in 16 days, we're going to try to put this video out today, okay, because it's just such a freaking thing happening. I'm going to go edit it myself. In 16 days, that system is about to be lit up like the 4th of freaking July, dude, because everybody's going to be trying to show up to get their crap. My advice to you, more content, baby, is if you have your stuff in asset safety, leave it there. Wait like 3 or 4 months, bro. Let it sit. It's in an NPC station. Let it sit. Literally, don't get your stuff. You're not going to be able to defend and get out against this. Come on. And I don't have a dog in this fight. This is not propaganda. This is, come on. Like, you can't get out of it. They have so many bubbles they're drawing. Come on. But you can get your salvagers out. Let's go. This is wild.
Be there. So that is where all those items are going.
Hell camp and low seconds.
And
right? Yep.
that system's going to be camped, I imagine. I can't imagine it not being camped. That's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem that they're going to be facing now. Let me bring that back up there. So that is Artake. There's a lot of... We are going to do a segment dedicated to this whole situation.
20K members. No, it was like 2 guys with like 10,000 accounts.
Because there is a lot to cover. So I do want to have a look at other stuff on Zkill, which... Zkill. I keep getting it mixed up. Apologies. Someone from Horde did try and running with all their Blueprint originals. Now this looks like someone who was heavily into industry lost all their blueprints, and you can imagine that
this is the same one we were just covering.
They are probably all fully researched as well. So 200, a quarter of a trillion to a smart bomb because he was warping gate to gate. Now,
Chad, I try to tell people, I don't care how long you played this game. I don't care if you just started this video. I'm going to save someone's life. It's very simple. If here's a gate and here's a gate and you're not in high sec anywhere else, okay? You warp to a celestial, to a planet, to the sun, to anything else, and then you warp to the gate. Because if you just warp to the gate, there's somebody waiting with a smart bomb, and the one time you don't do it, okay, take the extra time, especially if you're in a shuttle, bro.
As I've mentioned many times, when carrying high,
the lol from the Keepstar should be a new emoji. Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure that out. That's a good idea.
Really expensive stuff.
Yo,
if you're going through low sec, or if you're going
Tom DeBear, that's such a good idea. I'm gifting you a sub. That's such a good idea. I'm gifting you a sub. That's amazing. I'm gonna gift you a sub.
Low sec, and there's one person in system.
Tom,
just don't.
Great idea, my friend. Great idea.
A planet, a moon, a belt, something. Just don't.
Gobbin's own words on my Discord DMs, says Horace. Yeah. Yes, I do. So from a member of our community. This is, and it's a little blurry. Let me get this right. Thank you, Horace. Jack, can we get some 07s from Horace, who sent this. This is kind of hard to read, so I'm just gonna zoom in so I can do this. Everyone, big announcement. Pandemic Horde Chapter 2. Guys, we are going to do something a bit radical. This is good because I want you to get what happened, because Galaxier is going to tell you in his words what happened. I want you to see what happened, okay, not with bias. Pandemic Horde is leaving PanFam Coalition. Consequently, Horde is leaving the drone regions. Move ops start right now. That sucks. No. Hey, we're thinking about. Hey, get prepped. They start now? We'll be working with Init while we secure our new space. I mean, God bless the Init politicking people that were like, sure, okay. Our ambition is to play the game without being embedded as part of a larger coalition, which are working within it. Okay, coalition gameplay is a race to the bottom, where both sides are encouraged to grow as much as possible into conglomerating an infinite number of alliances and corporations. We avoid playing along these lines over the course of this year through the resets and maintaining separation, even when outnumbered. I just straight up disagree with this entire nihilistic crap. Weak, small garbage. Coalitions are about the friendship. What kind of epic stuff can we do together? And if you go out in a blaze of glory, then you go out with your boots on. You don't go out with your tail between your legs, which is what this reads like, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I have nothing personally against these guys. I'm just calling it like I see it. Moving forward, we plan to approach this challenge differently by mutually protecting our large but independent entities from being forced into coalition infinite growth cycle.
By destroying everybody's stuff.
What is this garbage? Either best case, okay. I'm going to get to the rest of this. There's a marketing principle that if you want to look at what someone's objective was doing a macro move, you look at what happened. Okay. If there's and I'm talking macro. I'm talking like, for example, World of Warcraft put out their new housing market, and I follow WoW because I grew up in Azeroth, take me to God's country. And they have now a cosmetic new currency called Hearthsteel. And you have to pay more money to decorate your house. And people are like, why would they do this? They're like, because they want more money. So the why is answered in what it is. They made a currency to sell more stuff. How this reads is marketing speak propaganda. This dude wanted to stop. I'll tell you what I think happened based on this. They wanted to stop this dude, Gobbins. Was this from Gobbins? I'm going to assume it is. Wanted to stop doing the rat race because he lost faith and was tired and bored. And instead of being a good leader, instead of handing the reins properly and equipping the tens of thousands of people that are in this coalition to move out correctly and safely, because you are
Never save anybody.
but move out well, let's say. Instead of doing that, hey, everybody, we're retreating right now. The only thing this is from Gobbins. Thank you, Horace. The only thing this is going to do is inspire panic. The only thing. Okay. So I disagree with the premise of this. And this thinking of like, we want to stop doing this arms race stuff. Undock your ships. Undock your ships. Don't want to deal with the infinite number of alliances and corporations. Time to figure out how you can do more cool things with the tens of thousands of people that are in your alliance. Not whatever the hell this reads as. This just reads as like a person who's shrinking into their shoes. Playing without a large coalition also reduces the effort required to manage and coordinate several other entities and personalities. Yeah, shock. Playing with less people means you have to deal with less people. Amazing. And avoids generating as many truly server-breaking tie-dye set pieces. Hopefully these steps will encourage other coalitions to shrink in size, given there's no need to main excessive numbers. I quantifiably disagree with every single sentence and word that is being said here. This is a nihilistic take on what Eve has become. This is a very sad, very broken person. Or at least the message is, I don't believe he's actually broken. Why? We saw some chants earlier. We saw some screenshots earlier of the people, and I assume Gobbins, I assume his stuff too, that they already got their stuff out. That the leadership of PanFam already got their stuff out, if that's what this is. Multiple Titans inside of a bubble. So, dude drops a, hey, we're leaving, but his stuff is safe. One thing, chat, that gets my blood boiling is bad leadership. People that are selfish, that are take their stuff and get them safe and then drop a bomb and walk away. Okay. And if I'm wrong about this, put it in the comments. I'm just calling it like I see it, chat. Cost. Dronelands. There's a cost to every big idea. In this case, the obvious cost would be we have to rebuild our space. On a more individual level, there would be a cost in terms of potential assets, safety, structures lost, especially indie parks. Also a cost in terms of efforts to move across many regions. We believe the trade-off and the risk are worth the benefits that this opens up, both in terms of content quality and distribution of spaces we own. This dude just said, unironically, the Farquaad meme. Like, some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. You could just take Lord Farquaad's face and just put it onto this, and then, you know, like, that's all you need. Like, as a live look at PanFam's old CEO right here. You know, this actually is what this is. Actually what it is. By the way, I disagree with this. Like, at best, he believes that causing a fire sale on his entire whatever was better for Eve as a whole, which is wrong. But I mean, this is good because it gives everybody freaking content. At worst, this is all politics and there's something else happening in the background, which is what I believe. Let's keep reading. By being independent, working with Init, you're being independent. No shade at Init. We like our friends at Init. By being independent, we acquire. If I was in Init and someone from a PanFam was like,
Hey, can we move to your spot and help us transition?
sure. I feel like I guess so. You know, by being independent, we acquire much needed control on how we want to approach this game without compromising with the needs and demands of our current coalition. Jeez, we can purge our own goals separately from independent groups while still working together when necessary. For example, we think in its goal, I'm not going to keep reading this because he's just sitting here just jacking himself off while he's talking about how he wants to have less people playing together. what I think happened, chat, is, and especially after reading this, I think someone paid him to burn it down. You can quote me. I have no firsthand knowledge, pure speculation. My marketing brain is going off reading this. And this reads like, here's how exactly it is. Read the leadership portion. Sure. And then that'll be it. As part, and you can read this. I'll try to put, this is in our Discord. You can find it in our Discord chat. As part of this, and it's probably on Reddit, etc. As part of this new chapter for Pandemic Horde, there's also be a leadership restructuring once everyone is safely moved. After 10 years of running Pandemic Horde, I will be stepping down and new leadership will be announced. Both myself and future leadership are aligned on what we see as the future version of Horde as we are worked in the transition for a while now. We believe the process will be smooth. Smooth for who? How can I equate this? This is like if Marvel Studios announced they would be selling off all the rights to every character in the cinematic universe to like whoever the hell would buy it and for cheap. And we want to democratize everything, and everything's fine, and we agree with this, and then randoms buy it up and start making the worst possible kind of content. You know what I'm saying? They take something good, something that was an entity, something that's an establishment, and then they say it's going to be smooth, and everything breaks, because of course it did, because you can't take a conglomerate, a corporation, indeed a massive amount of people, tens of thousands of people, and go, hey, I'm stepping down and we're leaving. It starts immediately. Chat, one of the reasons I'm an entrepreneur, one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing is so, and I've told you this before, so I believe God has called me to right the wrongs that have been done to me professionally. I'm a pretty good boss. My workers are good. My team is good at this, so it's very, very interesting to me that this official statement reads like he gave up. Like he gave up. You need to take a step back. Your context is Reddit and goons. No. This is the context. This is straight from their Discord. So I agree. I have 20 billion in asset safety and your takes are making me cringe. Then that's fine. Please keep on cringing. This makes me upset because I see 20,000 something people saw this and like there was suddenly 20,000 accounts cried out and then silence, because this what makes me sad is that what makes me sad is that like imagine somebody took off 2 weeks and came back and all their stuff is gone because this guy said, hey, you gotta move immediately and there's new leadership right now. This is just, no matter what any of you think, this is just not a way to lead a corporation of 20,000 something accounts. This is not opinion. It is a lot of opinion, excuse me. I'm reading off of straight from the man's mouth. Sheesh. And you guys can disagree. That's fine. It's all okay. No problems whatsoever. So this is this is sad. This will be the last thing that I say. It's sad. I was hoping that why didn't he just leave without destroying everything? Just leave and let the others do better. That's my point. Is if the goal was to transition leadership, if his goal, again, look at the marketing principle. If you want to understand why somebody did it, you look at what happened. He says leadership is aligned and will leave immediately and this will be better for everybody. But everybody died and everyone lost their stuff. So I think I think in time you'll find, and this is I have pure speculation, but I think this is what's going to happen. In time, you're going to see that he was paid off, that he had a reason to burn it down, and that reason will come out in time. Again, pure speculation on my part, but I think that's what happened. We are 6 minutes into a 40-minute video. Let's get like 10 more minutes in, and then we'll end the video, and we'll just see what's up. So let's
go gate to gate, because unfortunately, this guy paid.
It's sus. That's my point. Yes.
Price. And also, this guy got 73 billion worth of BPOs just from smart bombing on that gate. So that's not how you run away.
Don't smart bomb.
unfortunately. So
Don't run
there's
that way.
been 1, 2, 3 keep stars have died. This one was where they were originally going to go. So in the ping, which was in the last video, the goblins said that they're going to go to Venal to set up there, get sort of like
entirely possible. Indrasil says he probably just became gullible, short-sighted, and burned out. Maybe. I think that's the best case scenario. And that still sucks.
Regroup, recuperate a little bit, get everything together, then go from there. Fraternity didn't like that, and they saw it anchoring and obviously thought, you know what, we don't want Horde anchoring a keep star right in our space, in the middle of our space, because if we look on the map again, Venal is slap bang in the middle of Winterco space. So you got Winterco up here, all along here, all along here to there. So they would have been slap bang in the middle. And there's five ways in and out of that region to different parts of Winterco space. So they obviously didn't
I got to agree with this I'm reading the chats. You can disagree with me. That's totally fine. We accept constructive criticism here. Let's just try to keep things civil. I know there's a lot of emotions. Maybe I edged towards not being civil. Fair enough. It gets my blood boiling when people are bad leaders or what I believe to be bad leaders. Fine, fair enough. So, even in this case, it's selfishness on public display. I kind of agree with that. Really. I really, really do. Tens of thousands. It's about the speed of the decision. It's about how quickly it was made. It's, hey, we're leaving and I'm out. In the same breath, there's no way that is good morally. I don't have to know his mindset to know if it was good morally, because I see the outcome of it is tens of thousands of people are, call it accounts. 2 people with 10,000 accounts, chat, right? They're like, gone, sucks. So.
And yeah, in it formed a...
Thank you, Deathstalker. Thank you. The captain left the ship. You're supposed to go down with the ship. You're supposed to be the last one out, not the first one, while you're holding a pot of gold going, hey guys, see ya. Yep. Hey, we're gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna be great, as you leave with all your crap.
Couple fleets to go and attack them, to go and defend that keep star to help Horde, because in it, Horde and Darkshine's initiative made an agreement that they'll help them get out, and so they can get on the feet and then reset and start being their own independent group again.
Sure.
But that didn't go well. I think Fraternity, as far as I'm aware, they outformed in it by quite a substantial amount. Plus, they had all their caps there. So we bring that kill mail back up again. They had a lot of caps.
Yes, Indersil. I'm reading chat a lot right now, and I'm listening to Galax here as well. Imagine, hey guys, we're going to leave. And when we leave, we're planning the biggest Titan super brawl ever. We're going to leave. And at the end, I'm stepping down. But before I do, let's have the biggest show Eve has ever seen. That's what I'm talking about. Content, undocking, making memories. Instead, we get people drawing in space.
A lot of capitals there, and it just could not compete with it. So at that point, Horde's only line of exit at the time was then destroyed, was absolutely burnt then, because that's where they were going to, because Horde have been moving everything they have over to here, MTO2. They moved everything from here to a midpoint to MTO2 to go across the regional into Venal, and then they were going to jump out to their new keep star from there. That was the original plan. Okay. It's not gone that well. It's really not gone that well. And there were so many other ways they could have, done this and got out, and I won't go into all those because there's just so many different ways this could have been done, and it could have been executed better, but it wasn't. And, it is what it is. So Horde have most of their stuff in MTO2 now, and I don't know what's going to happen with moving across here. That's taking all their capitals across the regional, with Fraternity waiting that side. and Imperium going to be waiting this side?
Like, there's no way. You know? There's a couple ways. So they've got all of their, what Galaxy are saying, maybe this is wrong by now, who knows, is that all of PanFam's capitals are here. They want to go here. But they're getting pressed from this side, and they're getting pressed from this side, and definitely going to get pressed from this side too. So unless they like politic their way out, they're going to lose everything here too. This is not... When I moved my Cayman for our Cayman Yeet, it took me a couple weeks because once people saw that I was moving a Cayman, they would like, I watched the net close. I would see combat probes on D the moment I left the station, you know, on both sides from my Cayman and where the actual Cayman was getting Sino too. So this is, I straight up recommend that if you're in PanFam and you have a sizable amount of assets, which I think is anything over 50 billion-isk is sizable assets, that you join other corporations and leave. And I don't say that lightly. It makes me sad that this is where we are. That one of the biggest alliances in EVE, the word is fizzled. I've been searching for the word. Just kind of, you know, just went out with a whisper. So, no, you don't have to join goons. There's plenty of, you can go wormholes. You can go, I'm in Pochfin, join Pochfin. You could do any nullsec alliance. Hell, go to, there's plenty of low sec alliances that are killing it right now. Okay, so I'm not for goons or anti-goons. I'm not for any corporation. I live in Pochfin for a reason, because I can be anti-pro, whoever the hell I want. Okay, so thank you. I don't want to put moral disparity on entire corporations or alliances, Hudson. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is that if your stuff is caught between a literal rock and a hard place, maybe stop following the people that got you there in the first place, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
It's
you know, so
going to be a bit
crazy.
of a bloodbath, that is. That I can't imagine that
Good
being
to have you just failed.
a
07.
legitimate
Yeah.
option now.
So,
unless we turn around and leave them alone and let them go, I don't know. I can't. If Imperium wanted to pursue them, they would. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a line member. I have no idea what's going to be said or done.
right.
But if they really wanted to twist the knife, they would hold the rest of their super fleet that's in MTO now.
You could, Goku. You could join Goons, scare stuff out safely, but you know that everybody in Goons is just going to look at, hey, they were in PanFam. Now they're in Goons. You know, you got to understand that this is so messy. It's messier than we think. This is, my God, this is the biggest upheaval of people in EVE Online in 10 years. Like, it is. I don't know the best way out. I would definitely lean on your friends, people that you know you can trust. And even then, to be direct, there's nothing wrong with spooling up an alpha account and doing Abyss for 3 months while you just let your stuff sit in an NPC station and let the fire die down, baby. Just let time, that's my advice. Let time be on your side. Patience. You don't got to move all your, maybe you like, I want a crab next week. Well, you might have to wait. There's a lot happening. You might just have to wait. Okay. So a lot of unsubs, maybe, but that's video games, man. You know, like it's, you know, so crazy. It's the most I've talked to my fellow beans in years. There it is. So,
and
yeah.
really, really twist the knife. But I don't know if that's going to happen. A hell camp, we hell camped that whole system for 5 days. That's 24 hours of that keep start being constantly bubbled. 24 hours, 23 and a half if you're factoring in downtime. That whole system, as you can see just on the on here.
Good point, Starblaze.
That whole keep start keeps.
It's still there. It's still there. Oh no. It's still active.
That's, my God, kicking them when they're down, Shad. Sheesh. Goodness gracious.
Keepstar was bubbled like that.
Wow.
For 20.
Yeah, you are indeed.
23
Never safe in Eve.
7 hours a day for 5 days. There was 900 goons on the Keepstar at all times, keeping all the capitals from escaping. So this was basically like Imperium kept following them through space, and then we moved next to them. They moved back. We moved forward. They moved back, and
I totally agree. Blasphemy over on YouTube says, I don't think people will quit. The bottom guys will join other corps. This kind of content brings in new players and attention to the game, like when Bob was destroyed. Yep. When the lake is stagnant, not moving, it's easy to overlook it. But when the river is flowing, when there's a lot of activity, boy, you just have to look and see what's up. It's just gonna, I think this, sure, people will quit. I like that guy that lost 1.5 whatever trillion. Sure. My goodness. So all those bubbles, I still got 1 JF, 4 dreads, 2 Rorquals out of there. Horus, the GOAT.
Imperium leadership decided, you kept running from fights, so we are going to make this painful, which, that's absolutely, legit strategy to do. And they have made it painful. They are going to continue to make this a painful transition for them. And unfortunately, it's the line members that suffer in this whole situation. It's not leadership who were seen getting their stuff out before the announcement. It's none of that. Man,
if you clip me, if you are the leader of one of the biggest alliances in EVE, tens of thousands of players, and you treat your players like this, you're the reason why EVE is trending down. You're the reason why people think that we're a bunch of psychopaths playing EVE, because that's like psychopath behavior. It is. You can't be in a leadership position. I know it's a video game. I know. But if you're leading tens of thousands of accounts and you just say in the same breath, we're moving, we're retreating, I'm out, after you got your stuff. So, and I like this sentence, this is part of the game. This is my point. Just because something is part of a system doesn't mean we have to do it. Okay? Saying it's part of the game, he can leave, who cares? How you do something is just as important as what you do. That's my opinion. You can disagree, Chan. So, you can disagree. I think that this shows a very seriously lack of moral fiber because it affected tens of thousands of people. Goodness gracious. It's crazy. So, hopefully these people find better homes and hopefully they can continue playing the game we all love. What you should see if you're not in PanFam is that all of this represents an opportunity where you can improve. The market's going to shift. Going to be a lot of people need more ships. A lot of people need more ammo. The war machine's going to continue. More content, more fights, more undock. Undock, chat. Make some fun stories of your own instead of this. I disagree. We're not Psycho Shadow.
It is the line members who ultimately suffer. So the people that put Titans in production, super caps, capitals, loads of assets into building items and modules and ships and stuff like that, and all these reaction jobs that are now being terminated and not being collected, and all those minerals that were in those industrial hubs are now going to asset safety because they can't get them out. And there's a lot the line members have lost.
You can disagree with what I'm saying, but let's just try to keep it civil, okay? Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is this. I'm allowed to make a moral judgment on someone who negatively impacted tens of thousands of people. That's fine. Okay. You can say what you want, but for goodness sakes, I can look at something and say that's bad, because it is. Thanks. Let's keep talking about what happened. Thank you. So,
unfortunately, there is no true way to know
I saw it as beyond. Yeah, exactly.
How much is coming out of this area into asset safety, because I've asked CCP and the monthly economic report, which shows exports out of a region to another region, or just shows how much is leaving a region, isn't does not track asset safety stuff because it tracks it through it being like session changes from being in ships from one system to another or one region to another. So to track it from asset safety, it just doesn't do it. Plus, they did say that, they probably wouldn't release those numbers anyway, even if they did, for obvious reasons. So, as a wild guess from one person I spoke to, who's a line member who has requested to remain anonymous for obvious reasons, but he's lost it. Let me have a look. In excess of 160 billion just in materials for.
I think that the asset safety for the main Keepstar, if I was a Price is Right, I would guess 50 trillion-esque. Trillion with a T, with a trisk. If I was Price is Writing, I would do 50 trillion. Because you're talking one line member, and this is their anecdotal, whatever the heck, said in just maths was like 100 billion-esque. Sure. So if you've got tens of thousands of people, I think 50 trillion might be low. Might be low. Crazy. So, and this is a good point, Supa. I'm not criticizing people. I don't know these people. I have no idea about them. I'm criticizing what they did, their actions. It's a very, very good distinction. It's really good. I don't know Gobbins. I probably will never meet the guy, whatever. And if I do, I'll say, you good? Because all this stuff. What I will tell you is that what this person did negatively impacted tens of thousands of people, and that's bad. Okay, so you guys can disagree, but that's what it is. So, no, I don't think so, quite popo at all. I think that what they did is bad. I don't know the person. We've said that a bazillion times during this video. You can think differently. That's totally fine. And chat, look, if the chat starts getting too argumentative, I will start banning people. So just take a breath. There's a lot of emotions going on. I want to show you what happened. Thank you. Let's keep on looking at that.
Industry jobs. So that's one member of, the 40 or 49,000 that they had. So you can imagine how many trillions.
Did he just say 49,000?
49,000 industry jobs. That's one member of, the 40 or 49,000 that they had. So
when you said they lost 20,000 members in a week, they lost almost half. Half? Is that the biggest exodus in EVE history? Is it? Is it actually, chat? Numbers wise, is that the biggest exodus in EVE history? Start of September, they had 50K members. You got to look at Dotland, man. What is on Dotland? Send me a link, chat. I never use Dotland, so send me a link and I will definitely look at it, please. Put it in the EVE chat. EVE maps Dotland. Let me see. So that you put it in there. Sleepy Ash is like, please look at Dotland. Oh my God. I never use this website. Ads be damned, chat. Okay, apparently you can find cute anime people in Final Fantasy. Look at, it's half. 50K members. 27 members. 27K. Yowzer. I think this might be the biggest EVE player movement ever. I have obviously some opinions on how leadership should be done from other alliances, but Chad, if you see people in a video game, we're here to have fun, but because there's stuff to claim, because there's territory to defend, you have to fight for it. And sometimes that territory is lost without really any big boom. Not everything can be a big epic fight. My call to this community is find a way to have a great time in EVE and make your memories. Don't worry so much about if you're in PanFam and you were in PanFam and this whole thing just nuked your assets. It's a video game. You're going to be able to rebuild. You're better than a lot of these people, okay? Because you've been in a long standing endgame corporation. You know how to come back. You'll be able to come back and have a great time in EVE. Join a corp that, look, if PanFam pissed you off, join the enemy. PanFam pissed you off, join the enemy that's trying to glass their stuff and, take out your old stations. Have fun with that. If you are look, I don't want to do with null at all, go into wormhole space. Wormholes are about to be so much fun with the Odysseus and the Pioneer and all these other big stuff. There's a ton of capital ship stuff in wormholes too. It's not the same, but maybe not the same as what you need right now. If you want more small gang stuff, you can go to Losec, you can go to Pochfin, you can go find fights in other areas. You don't have to stay where you are. And this is kind of like, there's two groups of people that are going to watch this video. There's the people that are in PanFam or were, and there's the rest of them. People that are in PanFam, God bless you. I hope it goes well with you, especially if you're a line member and that you are able to recover from this massive loss. If you're not in PanFam, man, every single no corp that is smart just said like, hey, who wants to join? We'll bolster our numbers. This represents one of the biggest hiring opportunities in 15 years. This, if you're an industry person, this shakeup represents some of the biggest market fluctuations you're going to see. And we're right before an expansion. EVE Online is about the players and about the stories that the players write. And if you want more EVE news, that's this playlist right here. Stay up to date. It's the only way that you can make sure to get the best possible prices. We're going to have all of the Catalyst stuff coming in, all of the news, big things coming in. Sub right here for the best EVE guides. And chat, I want to say thank you for listening. If you disagree with what I've said or how I've said it, totally fine. Nothing but love. I want all of you to hear me loud and clear. I wasn't the best. I was a guild leader in World of Warcraft, and I wasn't the best GM. I failed, and I stepped down after I failed, and I felt bad that the 12 people, whatever, that I was leading got upset so much that I was like, you know what, the next time I do this, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to help people to be better, and I'm going to serve more. So when I see leaders that choose to not have service be their default, it gets my blood boiling because it reminds me of old me. Does that make sense? I hope it does. The best part about old me is that it's in the past where it belongs. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much.